Hi, everyone. This is Michael Canon representing the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is session 29 of the Bacta Tank. It is brought to you by my patrons, Rural Farm Boy, Heidi Fetter, Mr. Rez, Kyle Customs, Chris from Kentucky, Kylo Ren Flores. I think that's everybody. I'll remember if I skipped anybody. So, yeah, if you want to join them, go to patreon.com// some kind of slash TooMedToo, and you can join them. And it is August, so in the Bacta Tank, we are doing August is Australia month because our friends down under cannot come visit us at Celebration, and there is no Celebration. So I decided I still want to hang out with them, and the only way I can really do that is having them on the show. So each week we're having content creators from Australia on, and this is week number 2, and we have everyone's favorite milkers, Matt and Sean from BlueBanthaMilkCo.
Well, I don't know actually. How do you milk a bantha? Are we assuming it's an udder system?
I'm assuming
like on the side.
Big. It's,
I don't.
Just
just a bit of this, I think.
Yeah, what if it's not like a cow where they're just kind of like universal sizes, and it's like other type of mammals where they're very different in sizes.
Yeah, I think we need to message Matt Martin about this. I mean, he's probably the one person at the story group that would actually reply as well. I mean, he replied about. I asked him a question about Chewbacca and hair grooming, and he answered. He answered like 2 hours later.
Did he answer to be like, we have a restraining order out on you. You need to stay away.
No, he actually gave a really honest answer. It was great. I should dig it out. It's very funny. It was very funny. Oh, hi.
Oh, yes, so as well. Greetings.
Yeah. Hey, how you going? And hi, Michael. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, yes, on Australia month. This is cool.
I was, it was funny because I've been trying to get a lot of content creators from Australia on, and it's really hard to do with the time difference. And if I was recording and not doing a live show, it would be a little bit different. Because I could do it on a weekend or try and figure something out. But saying, well, okay, you guys, that Tuesday at 11:30 or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock for you guys. But
yeah, it's middle of the workday for us.
Yeah, as soon as we found out Celebration was canceled, I kind of put this in motion, tried to get it working, and now, fortunately for us, but I guess unfortunately, you guys are locked down again, and so you're stuck at home.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, I'm like the savior to society right now.
Basically, I mean, yeah, this enables us to actually speak to someone without having to maintain a physical distance and a face mask and whatnot.
Nice.
Otherwise, yeah, it is nice. It is nice because my face masks get really spitty. I don't know about yours, Sean. But like I breathe heavily through the mouth when I'm walking around.
I think
intentionally.
I'm really starting. Yeah, no, I know you do. Like really close behind people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I've just realized. I'm like, does my breath stink or do masks stink? What's the deal? So I can't really tell. There's a real stink, and I can't tell if it's me or the mask or both.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it is a real 50-50. My dental hygiene regime has gone down the toilet. Well, I've been in lockdown working from home, which I have been since March because, I went on holiday, came back, they locked me down, and they just never let me out. So,
yeah, when your significant other says, "Are you gonna take a shower today?" It's kind of like, when did I take one last? It was just yesterday, but yesterday turns out being 4 days ago because you've been binging whatever.
Yeah,
it's been one very long day.
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you what my longest stretch has been. No, I'm not going to say. We can start a raffle, like people could pick numbers, but I'm going to tell you, don't pick days.
Oh God. Okay. No. Moving on.
Yeah.
We'll do super chats for answers. That's what I'll do. It's funny though because like, I do this for fun, and yes, it's nice to get super chats and have the patrons and stuff. But I'm always kind of like, I can't believe people are giving me money for this, and people are like, donating and doing things. And I have some other friends that do, are kind of like that's what they do. They push YouTube, they push super chats, and it's kind of expected. And I kind of like I'll throw $1 here or there, a couple dollars every now and then. Just say, hey, hi, how you doing? Because I know it takes a lot, but it's a fun thing. And I know I've been one of your patrons for a while.
You have been, and we thank you. Like you've been, you came on board pretty early too.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna introduce tiers into mine. I was supposed to have them in for this month, but because of the computer issues, I've talked to you guys before, and I've bitched about them, all the fucking time on here, just because, I was talking to you guys and I kicked myself out of StreamYard, trying to do something. And it's like, I'll do that in the middle of the stream. I'll be like, okay, I need to hit this button because it's a lot harder, on your phone, or when you're trying to update a YouTube page or do something like that on your phone. It's like you're missing half the stuff that you can do, or 2 clicks of the button and you're done. And now it's like, okay, it's going to take me an hour. But, at least you can get it done with the phone. But it's like with the tiers I'm putting in there, it's the same it's the same dollar amounts that people are paying already. So nothing's going to be different. Just a little extra added bonus stuff for some of the people, and maybe entices some new people. But I just sent out I call them stim packs because the Bacta tank, you gotta get your health up. So I sent out stim packs, and for everybody that was a patron of mine, they got stickers and magnets and keychains and things like that, just to say thanks. Now next month we're going to start with some other stuff, but so no one's losing anything. Everybody, it's basically everyone's going to have the same. Everyone's going to get the same things. But if you give a certain dollar amount, you're going to get stickers every whatever amount of time, or you're going to get T-shirts and stuff like that. So just kind of like a little added bonus that way. But I'm not really doing. If you give more money, you get more content, because I do enough content for free on here. It's like I don't really know how much I can. Once I'm not on lockdown anymore, I'll probably
different story.
Do a little bit less content on for free and a little bit more on Patreon. But you guys. So you guys recently just monetized, though?
Yeah, we did. We did. That was when was it? A couple of weeks back now, like 3 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
something like that. Like we've had eligibility for Facebook brand collaboration for a while now, and we never did anything with it. We were like, oh, should we even enable it? So we've enabled that. Still haven't done anything. Like nothing's come through that yet. But we turned on YouTube monetization maybe a month ago, and we've had our first super chats, which has been cool. It's been a rocky road getting there, don't you think, Sean?
I tried to be your first super chat, and somebody beat me to it by I think it was your second one, because I just wanted to be like, how was your first? But, you were are pretty good.
You were so close too. I remember that too, because we got our first ones. Didn't even know how it worked. It was like, are we gonna get a super chat? And then we got one, and when we got a second one, and it was just seeing how it all actually worked inside of StreamYard. It was just like, this is good. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff.
I'm learning now too that you can set different things up so it actually shows up on the screen. So you'll get like an animation on the screen, and you can get to announce it, and
what in StreamYard?
Yeah, like on the screen, it will be whatever animation you put on there, and it will say, it will say, "Thank you, Matt," or "Matt gave $5," or "Matt gave $2," and then you can also do it where it reads. It's in a computer voice, not a very good one either. It reads it out to whatever it is. So that kind of actually, but that does help, because then sometimes people will put funny things in there. Like on my buddies all the time, it's like, you like to eat wiener. People to give them $2 and say you like to eat wiener, and that is on there all the time. It's just kind of,
what's the joke in that
though? It's funny. It might It might be second grade humor, but it's still funny.
That's
So
That's good.
So now, how did you guys get into Star Wars? Because I believe only one of you is from Australia originally, correct?
him.
Actually, no.
No, actually, you're not, are you?
No.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I was born in Reno, Nevada.
Yes.
Can you tell with my accent? Do I
That's
sound
right,
like I'm
because
from Nevada?
You know what? I was going to ask you that because there's a thing going. There's a couple pick your things. There's a couple things going on in the Twitterverse right now, and one's like pick what you want, like on signs or whatever, and the other one's like give me 3 random facts. And the one random fact that I did not know about you is that you have dual citizenship.
Correct.
And I also only sort of vaguely knew that. I didn't know the Reno thing until just 8 seconds ago. Yeah. But yeah. So actually, that's pretty good. So yeah, and I was born in Johannesburg and then moved to England and then moved to Australia. So yeah,
that I knew, because you just recently got your Australian citizenship.
I did. Yes, I got it in the saddest ceremony of all time, where I got on a Zoom call with someone who had like Australian flags stuck to the wall behind her. The whole thing took 3 minutes. She basically said, "Okay, here's a legal thing. Repeat after me. Congratulations." And then she must have moved on to the next one. Like the poor woman just must have just done that all day. Just got people in, got them to do the oath, gave them a little bit of a congratulatory thing, moved on to the next person. So yeah,
Did she have a Zoom virtual background at least?
No, it was just like an office, and she just had like like little flags with the sticks. So they were like stuck behind her, and the way she was sat, it looked like they were coming out of her head. And that was it. And I was sat in this exact chair with this exact backdrop, just like,
oh, it's fucking ridiculous. That's great.
I swear to uphold the blah 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 blah, and yeah, and that was it. So it was literally, I was having a conversation with someone in work, and I was like, oh, I'll have to stop you. I've just got to do this quick call, and then straight back. Right. So I'm now an Australian citizen. What were you asking me about? That was it. That was the whole process. Very, very little romance. So
that's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it was quite anticlimactic. It was after such a long process to get all the paperwork and all that stuff and do all the interviews and all that, and then yeah, just like done. We've been streaming longer than my entire thing, but I'm now an Australian citizen, so there we go.
And then Matt, why Reno? Were your parents from here, or were they on vacation when it happened, or is there some good story? Do we got some?
I don't know if it's a good story, but okay. So dad's I don't know. As I've come to realize, as you get older, like military's a fairly big thing in the US. It's not here. So dad was a military guy. He did a stint in all three, two major. So he was Army and Navy. Did a stint in each, and he was National Guard for a bit as well. Anyway, yeah, I think it was. I can't remember if it was Navy or Army, but he was stationed in Australia, and mum in the 60s or whatever, yeah, somewhere around there in the 60s. She was a cocktail bar waitress and whatnot in Sydney. Like, so she got out of Melbourne, and anyway, I think met dad up there, and then he was in Sydney for a little bit, and then I think he got her a job working the bar at the base or something like that. And then they moved around to a couple of other bases, and then she moved to the US and they got married, and just ended up being in Reno because that's where he was from. That's where his family and all that was. And so yeah, mum went and set up shop in Reno, and popped me out, and then all of his family was quite aged. So when it was just down to him and his mum left, my mum was like, yeah, fuck this. I don't want to raise him here with no family. So meanwhile, we've got like this massive ass. Well, at the time, it was quite massive, like Maltese family back in Australia. So she was just like, "All right, well, let's go." And so shipped us all off, including his mother. You know, yeah. So you can imagine this like real old school, kind of cranky, white Protestant woman coming and living in Australia. She would refer to getting a blow wave in her hair as getting a blow job. And she actually said it to a hairdresser down here. She was like, "I want to get a blowjob," and everyone was fucking laughing at her. Like, she's that kind of woman, and she'd like get really, really offended when people laughed and stuff like that. It was just interesting fish out of water shit. So maybe that's interesting. I don't know. Anyway, that's the story.
Okay,
Now you know
so
8 of my security questions for password.
Yeah, that's it.
that's
Blow job.
I had Chapman on last week, and I always thought he was from England, and didn't realize that he was actually born in Australia, moved to England, lived there for 10 years, and then moved back. So that was, yeah. See, everybody's learning things now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're making everybody smart.
Australia is a country at the bottom of the globe.
Yes. Well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And unless you're a flat earther.
Which I often call Austria, and no one ever corrects me. I mean, well, because you guys know I know the difference, but I'm just like on Twitter, no one ever corrects me like you're an idiot or anything, which is trust me, there's enough stuff I should get in trouble for on Twitter that, you know, calling it Austria is not one of them. So now, and I would, if I had the proper equipment right now, I'd bring up like your polls you did, or the choose Han or Leia or whatever they were. But we don't have one of those, so we'll just get into so what was collecting like when you were a kid, or how did you get into Star Wars?
Sean, you on?
I have no recollection of not being in Star Wars, but I did ask my parents about this at some point, and they went to see Star Wars when it first came out, obviously on like a date, because what was it? 77. So my parents were quite young, so they were still teenagers. And the thing they remember very clearly is that Everton, the football team Everton, who are in Liverpool, were playing West Ham, and the West Ham team were in the front row of the cinema before they were playing the game the next day. And that's the thing my mum remembers the most. And she said they came out of Star Wars and they were a bit like, meh, don't know, don't care. But when they eventually did move to South Africa, and when they moved there, my brother had been born, they took him over there, and Empire came out. And the thing with South Africa, when you rent videos from the video shop and like the Blockbuster or whatever, you actually have to rent the VCR as well. So you rent the whole thing. And they said, like, you know, so you'd rent it and you'd rent like 10 films. And they said when they got Empire, they just watched it a million times. And my brother was just obsessed with it. And then when I was born, it was just on all the time. And obviously Jedi and all that. So my first ever memory is like Christmas 1987 or something, coming downstairs and there just being a shitload of Star Wars toys. And there's just never been a point where I haven't been into it. My love has fluctuated over the years with different droughts and different bad things. But for the most part, yeah, it's just always been there. Just always been a thing that I've known and loved and watched. I don't have a sort of moment of, inspiration where I'm just like, this thing. It's just I've never not known that Darth Vader was Luke's father. That's it. It's just always been in my brain. Matt?
Yeah. Your story's not all that dissimilar to mine. I guess obviously no English football team involved, but once you sort of get to VHS or whatever, I think I was born in 82, and I think parents would have got, I think Dad's told me this too. I don't think they even had a VHS player or whatever until they got to Australia. They didn't have one in the States. They had HBO, I know that, but yeah, they didn't have
nothing
one.
was on it, I guess.
Yeah, there's nothing on it. So when one of Dad's early jobs when he was when they first got here was sales for a consumer electronics store. And so like they had like quite good televisions and stuff like that compared to everyone else. I remember like when I was a kid, but yeah, VCR, taped off television, and yeah, it was just always on. It was just always on. So like,
yeah, we had
not knowing it.
So Christmas in England, they must have done a full all 3 films, and my mum and dad had taped them all. And so the versions I had that I watched had advertisement breaks.
Same.
And yeah, and I remember it being the only commercial I remember is one for a movie called Oliver and Friends, and it was it was cats, and that's all I remember. Like in terms of adverts, I think I probably like fast forwarded it all, but I just remember that distinct trailer for this Oliver and Friends, a film that I've never seen, but I've probably watched the trailer for it 11 million. Every time I've watched Star Wars, I've watched the trailer for that film. I probably should chase that down.
So that's really weird because my tape of it had an ad for Oliver.
Oh,
and I distinctly remember ad like the please sir, I want some more and more. Like that was in the VHS recording. It was that and ad for Kit Kats and National Australia Bank.
Yeah. So it was, and I watched the tapes until I think I probably watched them until they broke. I probably watched them until they wore out.
Yeah, same.
And it was funny, like my nephew, when he was 5, my brother, they watched them all, prequels to sequels, and he loved them and he was obsessed with Anakin and all that. But my younger nephew, who was only 2, he didn't watch any of it. He just like caught little bits, but he instinctively knew that if he picked up a toy lightsaber, he had to go whom when he picked it up. Yeah. And he was like whom whum whum. And but had that little kid thing where he will just whack you as hard as he can with it. There's no restraint. But he knew what a lightsaber was. He knew what to do with it. Like just from straight away, it was like inbuilt. It was like genetics.
I think it passes through blood, right?
That's it. It's like midichlorians.
Yeah, and it was a Disney
Oliver and Company. That's it. Yes, Oliver and Company, not Oliver and Friends. Oliver and Company. And it was I believe it's a retelling of Oliver Twist, but with cats, I think.
If I can remember, like I think it probably came out in the early 80s. It was another Disney movie, and I think it was mixed. I think it was both. Because I remember seeing it all the time. Like I'm the same way. I have an older brother who's 8 years older than me. I have cousins that range, and like kind of like the sets, because there's a group that's older than me, and I'm kind of the baby, and then there's a couple that are a couple of years younger than me. So I'm kind of in the middle there, but I'm like the baby. I'm a couple of years younger, and then a couple of years older, so I'm kind of right in the middle. But the older cousins, range from a year or two older than me to my brother being 8. So I always had them, and he would go over their house and play with their Star Wars toys. But my thing is that I was born in February of '78. So if you go back 9 months, that's in May. So the last time I saw my dad, I said, "Hey, I've got a question for you. If you go back 9 months, was I conceived on May 25th?" He said, "I don't fucking know." Actually, he didn't swear. But he was like, "Go ask your mother." I was like, "I don't know. Do you think she still remembers after 40 years?" But yeah, so that's my thing. I was born in Star Wars because I was conceived on Star Wars Day. So. Yeah, but that's I've always known Star Wars. It's always been there ever since I was growing up. We had HBO, and everything was taped off. Every movie that was on HBO got taped. And my dad had they were done on the 8-hour tape, so the quality wasn't as good so you could fit 4 or 5 on there. And we had like cabinets just full of them because it was literally every movie, and it just had the name and the year that it was on there. So it's like, it was just nonstop Karate Kid and Jedi and everything like that.
What's with dads in the 80s and that obsessive cataloging of taped off television films? Because my dad was the same. He wrote titles, year, and runtime.
I had a mate and his dad would do like title, year, and then like the top 3 actors.
Oh, yes, we had some with actors as well.
So I guess that's
usually anything with Bruce Willis or Richard Dreyfuss because my dad really likes them.
So I guess it's a thing of just like, I'm in the mood for a bit of Bruce Willis. Ah, yeah, there we go. See, my parents, my dad, because we're, from Liverpool, and we're a little bit dodgy and that kind of thing, and we're working class. We had the two VCRs, and we would tape tapes from tapes. So we would you get a tape from the video shop. So you got Terminator 2 from the video shop. It went in one player, the other player, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I remember the weird thing with that was when I got Monster Squad, which is one of my favorite movies growing up. Yeah. And it was Monster Squad and then a shitload of Tom and Jerry cartoons afterwards because my mum was just trying to fill a tape.
Yeah,
She's like, we got space, let's just fill it. And that used to be I used to obsessively watch that and then watch the Tom and Jerry's afterwards. And it was really weird because I went to go see Monster Squad at the cinema last year. It was on at a movie festival. And it was double bill, Monster Squad, and then a documentary about Monster Squad. And in the documentary, everyone was saying this movie had a really small release on VHS. It didn't get released on DVD for 20 years. And everyone was just telling that story oh yeah, we got it and we taped it onto a tape and we'd watch the tape until it wore out. And I was like, oh, right. So it wasn't just me with this one specific movie. That's how you watched the movie. You had to bootleg it. And it was cool because watching it and they were talking about the Blu-ray release. And I was like, yeah. That's cool. Monster Squad. It's like Goonies, but good.
I mean, I never really thought about it, but yeah, it was always the name. I guess the year that it came out. Some of them had actors, but I think those were I say adult movies, but they weren't pornos. They were the R-rated ones. They were
soft focus.
The drawer, the cabinet head or whatever. They were horizontal cabinets, not vertical. But so I don't know if they're really cabinets, but the. One of them, the last one, was the R-rated movies for my dad, and we weren't allowed to watch them. And it was one of those things that, okay, I was so young anyways that it wasn't even an issue of I'm going to steal it and take it or whatever. But yeah, I'm just thinking about it. It's when you were saying that, I was like, well, maybe it's kind of like that military training, making sure everything's cataloged and whatever. But it could also be, back then, tapes were expensive. I mean, I don't know, they were a couple dollars a piece, and back 30, 40, 30 years ago. 35 years ago, that couple dollars would be a $20 tape now, or I mean, I don't know, I'm just guessing. So you want to try and get the best bang for your buck. So if you know that something, the runtime's an hour 37, you're going to put something that has an hour and 38 on there, so you're not wasting any tape.
Good point, actually, because it was treated. They were treated very much like a very finite resource in the house. I remember that. We had hundreds of them, but
putting the sticker was very much it was diffusing a bomb. Making sure it went on perfectly and all that.
Straight and wasn't. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Now we just throw in an extra drive. Or up the drive and get an external. That's when for all the bitch I'm doing on my computer, it's when I get this back, I'm gonna have to buy something else for to use mobily, because even though it's a laptop I'm getting back, it's a 27 it's a 17.9 inch screen. It's gonna have 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's gonna have 5 terabytes on there, so it's basically a mobile workstation. But I don't want to carry it around anymore, I just know the price of it. So it's
it's table to table basically inside of one building.
Because in a New York City apartment, before I used to do everything in my bedroom, but now with being locked down, my girlfriend's in there watching TV while I'm doing this, so I'm in the living room, and she lets me put some toys behind me. And it was funny because the one day I went and changed them. And she's like, what happened? What'd you do? And I was like, I moved. She's like, the color scheme is all wrong right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, put them back. And I was like, well, no, I don't want the carbonized out ones out there anymore. I'm switching. She's like, no. Those ones could stay. The other ones I got to go. I was like, okay. So it's kind of going to be like that. And then, I'm just getting that's the other thing too. It's I don't need a lot of, I can get the basic line iPad. Well, I'm going to get, the new one, but I don't need a lot of memory on there because everything can just be loaded up to my computer every day or whatever. So, I mean, that's going to save a lot of money. But it's, I spent all this money on it. Now I don't want to do anything with it. So.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Are you working still, with all the lockdowns, or what's going on?
I was. And then in April, I had a mysterious respiratory infection.
Yeah, I remember you said something about that, but I didn't know much detail.
And in New York City, I couldn't get a COVID test because, like, even if doctors were sick, they weren't giving them COVID tests. They were just saying, okay, you're isolating yourself or whatever, because they needed the COVID test for people that were actually like dying. And since New York was such a shit show when it was being hit, it's like, even so, like, doctors are sick, they can't even get them. So I mean, I'm not going to get one. But I have I'm having respiratory issues from this mysterious respiratory infection 4 months ago. And I can't return back to work until they figure out what it is. All my doctors, I have 4 doctors that I'm seeing right now, trying to work on this, and they all say that I have COVID. My original one says, the antibody test was negative, so I don't know if you had it, but it's still the cardiologist, a pulmonologist, and all the ologists say that I had it, and that's the whole thing with, like, unless you take the COVID test, why you have it, the antibody test, it's a crapshoot whether or not, and they still don't know why some people get the antibodies, some people don't. Some people don't, it doesn't show up in the test, and then a month later they have the antibodies, or vice versa, where they don't have, or they have them, then they're gone. So it's kind of just really a crapshoot. So it's like, officially I didn't have it because I was never tested, because I couldn't get tested. But all of the doctors that I'm seeing right now say that I did. But that's like, I had to go for, I have to have more tests done on Thursday, lung function tests. But according to the CDC, I have to have a COVID test within 5 days of that. So I had to go today for a COVID test, which, the lady's going to do it and explain to me. I'm like, just stick it up my nose. And she got done. She's like, are you okay? I was like, can you do the other side so it feels the same? Because it does. I mean, it's like, I don't really know how to explain it. They're sticking a really long Q-tip into the back of your nasal passage, and
it's not comfy.
Your eye gets all bloodshot, and you start gagging. And I mean, it's not that bad.
It's just a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. You're not used to it. No. It's something that you never really,
we can't really prepare for that feeling, and they do it quickly. I don't know if they take their time when they do it there, but I did a drive-through one here, and like, they did the throat and the back of the nasal cavity, and it was so rapid fire quick. Like, it's the double-ended long Q-tip, so it's just like, okay, open and tilt your head back, and it's like, and then I'm like, and then, like, the second my head's down, and they were just like, hand on forehead, push back, up, and I'm like,
See, mine was quite tame, but it's the thing where you just like, right, this is, again, it's that annoying little sacrifice you have to make for the greater good.
It's nothing. It's
nothing in the grand scheme of things. But it was that thing of, like, getting it pushed right to the back of your throat, just be like, thank you. Can I go now?
Please, and thank you. But they've started doing both nostrils now. A friend of mine went and got his done, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they did both," and I'm like, "What?" But it's a shocking thing, like, the way it's showing up and not showing up in people and whatnot. Like, I think Alyssa Milano posted about it the other day. She'd had something like 3 or 4 tests or whatever, and then finally, months later, after having all these symptoms that just wouldn't go away, the antibodies showed up, and they're like, yes, you have COVID. But she'd had test after test after test with all these hardcore symptoms, and nothing.
But I mean, that's the whole thing right now. Because it's so new, they don't know anything, and they're saying our best guess is that it's going to be like this virus, where it, this happens and this happens, but they don't know. Can you catch it again just because you don't have antibodies? So it's like, there's very few cases of people that had it getting it again, but there are a few. But I mean, if you had chickenpox once, you can get the chickenpox again.
Exactly.
The percentage chance of it happening are so low. But I mean, it's just I've had a couple of tirades about masks and things like that, because just sometimes it's like, what do you? I mean, I'm all about liberties and freedoms and doing what you want, but it's like, when not wearing a mask can hurt someone else,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like, you know, you don't want to wear a mask at home, fine, you don't have to. You know, but yeah, so I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm wearing this bad boy. I'm wearing this bad boy today.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. I was going to ask actually, like, because I recognize the green. Nice looking shirt. Where'd you get that from?
Well, these guys at Celebration went around telling everybody that they didn't come here to fuck spiders.
I believe that was you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
And then that turned into a big thing on, you know, whether or not that is truly an Australian saying or not.
Yeah.
And like I think it really came out around at the Steel Show, or it had been building up with the group of people. And then at the Steel Show kind of came to, you know, a head or a boil, whatever you want to say. Because then everybody was saying it to Steel, and Steel's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, we don't say that in Australia. So I guess it's kind of like a colloquialism, or it comes that. So then, of course, we're all doing, you know, we're all doing research on finding out what it is, because it's like, no, that's complete. You know, it's like people are saying that's from other people from Australia besides Matt are saying it's completely made up. He made that up. We've never heard of it before. And I guess it comes from New Zealand is actually the origins, and then it just kind of being next door kind of dwindled over. But depending on what part of the country you're in, is whether you say it or not.
There's a lot of New Zealand, Australia stuff. It's like Turkey and Greece or something like that. You know,
even England and Australia has a lot of shared stuff. But like, look, both countries do say it. It's definitely a more old school thing. It's not something that you see in or hear a lot in metropolitan centers. Basically, like it's more of an out in the sticks kind of country-ish kind of saying.
Oh yeah, my country relatives would definitely be saying stuff like that. My wife's uncle Bruce, he's like a rough dairy farmer, and he was buying he went to like the farm auction and he bought a load of cows, and then he was like bidding on this bull, and the bidding was going wild, and he just kept going, and someone was like, "Oh, Bruce, you really want to win this bull?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, I can't fuck him myself, can I?" So yeah. Guess so.
Oh, that's so good.
Rough.
That's so good.
Rough farmer. But yeah, so he'd definitely be someone who would say, I'm not here to fuck spiders. So yeah.
Oh, it's such a good
course, then that started the the whole that everybody's walking around Celebration saying it, and it just kind of started a whole thing. And I don't know what Matt's intention really was with that. If we'll ever find out, because I think it's better that we don't know. Was he just trying to fuck with all the Americans, or was he just, but I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Was he just trying to play with our stupid little tiny brains?
Okay. So the Matt you're talking about, obviously, it's Turbo. So,
I thought it was you that started it.
Okay, so it's sort of by a way, yes, but only because I set it to Turbo one night, and then Turbo just dropped it at a big dinner. So he was at dinner with Steele and Chapman and all of them, and then he threw it in there, and everyone, like I think like Struthers was there and all that, and they all just were like, what's this? And that's what sort of got it going. Okay. I can't remember the context of why I brought it up to Turbo though. It was something I think we were talking about. I think we were just talking about like general colloquialisms, but there was a specific reason. I just can't remember what it was. I said it to him, and we just laughed. We fucking laughed so hard about it because it's ridiculous. And then he threw it into a dinner conversation, and that was it. And it went off from there. It was like fucking took on a life of its own. And Steele did seem to be a bit like, no one says that. No one says that here. And it's like, well, not now, but they did. It's still a thing.
It's also a very, very big country.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. But yeah, so it evolved into what are the name of the spot? Crickners?
The Crickners from Rebels.
Yeah.
And then we got Chris Hall to draw us a picture.
Yeah.
Then it was a
Made into
t-shirt.
a lovely t-shirt.
And I've wore that t-shirt to work and been asked by my coworkers like, oh, so what's the deal with your t-shirt? And explained it to them. And yeah, that's probably they really were just like, that locked me in their heads as just this like nerdy dude. But I make my own merch, so
they regretted asking you the question first, and then they were like, "Yeah, okay, so this dude's got some weird like arachnophilia thing going on."
And then they sent me into lockdown straight after that, which is weird.
Yeah,
and then they just never let me back. Yeah, it's weird.
That's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, lockdown starting for Sean, and then the virus happened. They were like, oh, brilliant! What an excellent coincidence.
Oh God. So let's. I feel like we haven't really spoken about Star Wars. Have we spoken about anything to do with Star Wars yet?
A little bit, just
a little bit. When I had Pizza and Parsecs on here, the first 45 minutes we talked about food. We didn't even talk about Star Wars. But yeah, well, I mean, what's going on in Star Wars right now? We got we got movies pushed back.
Good.
For a couple of years. Well, another year, so it's going to be 4 years in between movies now, which a lot of people are going crazy over. But I mean, all three of us went 20 years without a Star Wars movie, so
right,
yeah,
it's kind of like the dark times. And in that time, and I wasn't a book person. I don't like to read books. Audible books, I love them. I can't get enough of them. But it's like I was never into the EU or Legends or whatever you want to call it, just because I didn't read books. So I mean,
the entry of them so high though as well. Like if you come in late, I think I don't know if anyone else tried.
Oh, I read the Thrawn trilogy when I was a kid, and that's like they came out in the early 90s. And then I didn't try and do anything. And then I think sort of post prequels, I was like, oh, maybe I'll dip into this. And then you look and it's just like, it's too much. I don't even know where to start. It's just too much stuff. Which is what I like about the new ones is you can sort of get into it. Yeah, like we've ground floored it again. You can get into them and
yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, I think they tend to be tied to eras as well. So like you can focus a bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I've Master and Apprentice and Jedi Lost and stuff like that. You could completely skip them if you wanted, or if that's your thing, like prequels, and they're good. Well, Master and Apprentice is all right, but Jedi Lost is brilliant. I just started reading the Rise of Skywalker novelization last night, and it's very good. Like the opening is. Yeah, and the opening is just like it opens with Rey instead of Kylo Ren. It's Leia's talking about training with Luke and all that. That's all up front. The Oracle character, you know that Ren's on Mustafar. There's more hooks. There's more pride. It's great. When he meets Palpatine, it's kind of a little. Everything's just fleshed out. I was just going to read a little bit of it. I ended up reading about 50 pages. I was just like, this is killer. I'm really enjoying this. So it's interesting. I'll be intrigued to see how that turns out. It's very rare that a novelization is better than a movie, but we'll see.
Yeah, with The Last Jedi, the novelization was pretty much, it was the same story basically. You had that dream in the beginning, which
I did like that. Yeah,
what the hell is going? Like this is completely different. What the hell's going on? This is a completely different movie. I don't know what's happening, what's going on, and then you realize it. But what I like about the novelizations is they give you information that you can't put into a movie that's going to be 6 hours long. And
exactly.
They know the person. You have their thoughts instead of just what they're saying, or what they can convey with a look. You can get much more in depth into what was going on in their mind, or whatever it is. But I think the Rise of Skywalker novelization is way better than the movie.
No, you've read it as well, have you?
Yeah.
I'm assuming then. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I'm quite late to the party, I think.
Yeah, I haven't touched it yet. I'm I oh god, I'm bad with that sort of thing. I've got like a pile of things I should be getting to, but
I mean, it's still the same story, but there's enough things added to it that just make it so much better. And in my opinion, of course, because I'm one of those people that I'm similar to you guys that you love Star Wars and you're gonna accept whatever they give you. You might not like it, or there might be certain things that you don't like in the movie, but you still have that movie and you kind of pick the good things out of it. And it's like, even, in my opinion, if I had to do the, list them, which I don't really like to do because every day it's changing, what kind of mood I'm in, how my list is going to look, but The Rise of Skywalker is going to be on the bottom. But there's still so much good stuff in that movie that it's like, I don't understand people, oh, we need to get rid of the movies and redo the movies and everything. It's just, I was in a stream the other night. I was in a marathon stream, and one of the guys was, and you guys think I'm conservative or on the right. This guy was like way past me, and I was just like, you're double talking, and he'd make a point, and then you'd counteract it, and he'd completely contradict his point, to make your point significant, and you come out and then so it was just and then it's just like, dude, like. If you could stay with the same story, and that would be great. But you keep changing your mind, and the only reason that the prequels are good is because the sequels suck. And then the only reason this and that. But then when you pressed him on it, he changed his reason for why. And it was I'm just we've all had our run-ins with those kinds of people in those groups, and I've finally gotten to the point where it's like, I don't have the energy anymore. Except like now, here's like I was talking about going to the doctor. I was sitting in the waiting to get a test done, so I had a couple hours to kill. And Pete Fletzer had posted something. He likes to every once in a while stir the pot. He does. And somebody had said something, and I made a comment about how Legends is just glorified fan fiction. And it's always been glorified fan fiction. And even when George Lucas was saying you should do this and helping people out or whatever, it was still all just glorified fan fiction. And I knew exactly what I was going to do, commenting to that person about that. But I had 3 or 4 hours. I had a couple hours. So I was like, all right, I got the energy now. I got the time. But, for the most part, I really don't. I try and stay out of it now because it's not worth it.
No, it's not. It's really absolutely not. Like, I mean, there's a lot about the discourse around the film that really frustrates the shit out of me at the moment. And like, there's a lot of things you could comment on. There's a lot of stuff you could clap back, you could quote, you could fucking subtweet, but where do you draw the line and where do you end like the conversation? Like,
what do you win? What do you
win out of it? I mean, I get frustrated if I boil it down to something quite fundamentally simple. Like, if you accept or if you treat the films like it's mythology, well, you don't fucking walk around saying what mythology should or shouldn't be. Like, it just is. It is. You don't have to like every single aspect of it. It's just, but it is. Like, think of every single other folklore, like, or folktale and whatnot that's out there. I can't imagine people in Northern Europe walking around going, "Well, Thor should have done this." Like, it's not how it works. So if it is that, you can say, "Well, I don't like that aspect of it," and just move the fuck on. But
definitely move on.
Yeah,
get over it.
Yeah, it's a movie. They're movies we all love. And if we didn't have the movies, we wouldn't know each other. We wouldn't be sitting here talking to each other right now. I'd probably have a much nicer apartment because I wasn't buying toys all the time. Who knows what I'd be spending my money on. But I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, whether or not you like a movie or for whatever reason, I think a lot of it's expectations like you get, like, no one really had a problem with Rogue One. Like, Rogue One, they give you a trailer. They give you a trailer, and the movie's completely opposite of what the trailer shows you. And a lot of people talk shit about it, but no one really says, I hated Rogue One because they lied to us and they misled us.
Yeah.
But you
That's
take
very
like,
true.
you take The Rise of Skywalker, and you have a lot of people that hate the movie because they went in there with expectations, and those expectations didn't come anywhere near what Lucasfilm kind of hinted was going to happen. And we can get into many reasons on why that happened, but it's just kind of like, so you don't like it, so I mean, just don't watch it, and but it still happened. It's still a movie. It's still canon. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's not canon. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And then you can sit there and try and like my whole thing is it's canon. Those are the rules. But then we can try and interpret the rules a different way. Just like when you do a scientific experiment, these are the results. Now let's try and figure out why these are the results, or look at the different aspects of religion, how it influenced it, or psychology. And, you want to look at Anakin Skywalker, you want to look at Kylo Ren's, psychology about it. And, it's like you're trying to figure out the psychology, and it's like, okay, well, there's different ways to look at it and why it may have happened.
It's I think you see the way people interpret it in a couple of different ways. I think is a little bit telling about the audience member. Like you're either treating it very much as this productized thing, and therefore my expectation is what I expect as a consumer, and therefore if I don't get met with the thing that I want from the product, I have a right as the consumer to be angry and mad at the product and the producers of the product. If that's a mindset, okay, that's your mindset. You're entitled to have that mindset. I fundamentally disagree with you in the way that you treat that sort of thing. Like, but if you don't treat it that way, if you just say, okay, well, back to the mythology point, it's the story, it is what it is. Like someone in your comments just said, sequel's not my canon, put it that way. Well, that to me conflicts with the concept of what canon is. Canon is canon. It can't be your canon or my canon. It just is. It just is. So the statement, I just don't like it. Cool. You don't like it. Okay. Doesn't make it not canon, like you said, Michael.
Yeah, and that's where that's where the arguments start. Like I have another friend that used to come on here all the time, the ambassador, and he hasn't been on in a while because he started his own channel and he's on there a lot. But he hates the sequel trilogy, but he still says that it's canon. He just won't watch them again. But it's like I don't know, Space Jesus. I don't know if I know who you are or not. But it's like it's still. I mean, if you don't like them, don't watch them. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but if there's a movie I don't like, I just don't watch it. But
that was dog.
Yeah, little doggy.
Dog.
Yeah,
hello,
but
dog.
I mean,
guys, I'm Delilah.
hello, gorgeous.
Oh, hello.
This is my
What do you
show.
think?
I just sleep through it a lot of times.
Oh, cutie. Absolute cutie.
It's a new host, mate.
She's my little baby.
Give the dog the stream and like go on holiday every now and then. She can run it.
That's what I thought. I was like, I wonder what, but like the people that film their dogs and then put it on YouTube or whatever. It's just like you guys start to watch a lot of film unless they have it like on a motion sensor or something like that. Because if you're a dog just sits around and sleeps most of the day, even if you got even if you have a couple of puppies or whatever, trying to catch them playing. But I don't know. There might be another puppy in the works soon. I don't know.
Nice.
Well, my other dog went to All Dogs Go to Heaven. My other dog went to heaven right before Christmas.
Sorry, man. That sucks.
I had her for 16 years.
Shit.
That's about that. 15 years, but she was just old. It was time. But this little one, she's 12. She's never been without another dog.
Oh yeah, you need to get a companion.
So, once my girlfriend and I go back to work, she's gonna need somebody to keep her company because she's never been alone. But
yeah, I do, man. Yeah, they I think they do a lot better. Even if they don't like get along perfectly, they do a lot better when they've got something else that they know it's another dog. How the fuck do they know? Are they looking in mirrors? But
fighting the reflection. Well, my dog used to do that. Kind of scare the shit out of himself, just like, another dog, get him.
What's this? Are you threatening me, puppy? Space Jesus. Great.
I'll get you.
Great icon as well, or great avatar. Sorry, Space Jesus. It's very, very much on point.
I see there's some more casting for the Cassian Andor show today.
Yeah, that was in the news, wasn't it?
I saw that. She's from an HBO show, I believe.
Yeah, and that Six Underground horrible movie.
Let's have a look.
I think Six Underground.
Yeah, Six Underground. Oh, and she's in Good Omens.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, she's kind of pretty, which doesn't really make a difference or not. But it's like that's what I'm trying to like. I wonder if are they picking women because of their acting skills or because of they want pretty girls so people don't get upset and are assholes like they were to other people that they don't consider to have the traditional beauty out there. Not saying anybody personally, but just like the trolls and trying to do things. So it's like
I don't think they do anything to placate the trolls. I think an unfortunate aspect of getting ahead in show business is that you have to be good looking as well as talented in a lot of cases. No one's saying that about I've forgotten his name now. The dude who plays Cassian. No one's saying like, oh, do you think they cast him because he's gorgeous or Oscar Isaac or anything like that?
It's
I think there is.
women.
Yeah, it's only and it is just an aspect of it. There is this particular type of look that people have that you get that helps you get famous, surely. Unless you're like a chubby comedian, and then you can just kind of do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I think insinuating or like assuming that Disney or Lucasfilm do anything to just sit there and placate douchebags is, I think, really giving way too much credit to the douchebags. Like, if they cared about placating, there would be a lot of things that we wouldn't see in the stuff that they're producing. Like, I mean, God, if they cared about placating, then The Last Jedi would be completely different. I would actually even argue that there'd be huge chunks of The Rise of Skywalker that would be completely different because, fucking newsflash, like that part of the fandom don't like The Rise of Skywalker for different reasons, but everyone's sitting there going, oh, they did this stuff to placate the toxic fans and all this sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, but the toxic fans don't like it because they're toxic fans. They don't like anything.
No, I mean, that is the thing. Like, you wouldn't get, if they were trying to placate toxic fans, you wouldn't get Rogue One. You wouldn't get Jyn Erso would be Tim Erso, and it'd be, a male character.
Tim.
And they'd all be
Tim?
Jim. It should have been Jim. Should have got Jim. Tim's funnier. I think it's because it's so prevalent with the sort of lives we lead, quite, a lot of Star Wars stuff and these toxic dickheads, that we assume everyone else is aware of them. But there was an interview with Brie Larson the other week where someone mentioned about trolls and stuff like that, and she didn't know what they were talking about. All those YouTube channels full of dickheads who make their entire careers based on cutting together interview clips of her with the other Avengers, trying to make it seem like they are like they all hate each other. They that's their entire lives, and she has no idea these people exist. And Disney definitely don't exist.
And I don't know if Matt caught any of it. Some of those assholes were at Celebration and walking around
I did.
happy and loving everything and not being and wanting to interact with people, whether they, didn't matter if they were fans or actors or sequel trilogy or prequel trilogy or OT. They were just fans there. And it's like, you just sit there and spew hate and lie to make money. And it's like, if people knew you were doing that, that would be one thing. But when you have, your little minions that can't make up their mind for themselves and, you're just feeding off their ignorance and hate, then, it's like, that's why no one wants to talk to you or hang out with you.
Yeah.
Because you're that's how, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I've had the conversation, like, if I could make $250,000 a year and just sit in front of my computer and just make up lies, would I do it? But it would cost me all my Star Wars friends. Yeah. So it's like, like where do I really draw the line? And that's what that's what I say he, because there's one person's, in particular, but like, that's what these people are doing. It's like anyone that actually, like wants to sit there and actually talk about Star Wars because they love it isn't going to want anything to do with you.
No, of course not.
Well,
I would say
take
that even further. Like if you get to that point where, say we're talking about the same person, if you're just making your whole career based on any time that anything does anything that you consider woke, Last of Us Part 2, Captain Marvel, and that's your whole thing, it's not just Star Wars people, it's just anyone with a brain is just going to look at you and be like, you're a piece of shit, and I have no interest in anything that you do. And the thing is, and me and Matt have talked about this before, you can't, once you go down that road, you can't turn it around and come back. These people can't tomorrow turn around and pivot and say, you know what, I was a dick. I've decided now that I like these things, because their fan base won't stick with them and they'll disappear and that'll be the end of them. And you see it quite a bit where people just run out that cred of like hating stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And then they try and like pull it back in any way and people just turn on them. And it's like, what a stupid shit, horrible life to be like, oh yeah, 24 hours a day, all I do is hate. Yeah. Stuff that I actually like, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an odd one. Like, and I don't think it's sustainable either. Like that, the ones that we're thinking of, I think we're all thinking the same person, but like that dude didn't start that way. He started off quite positive. Once you start feeding into a certain tone, it's more lucrative. It's definitely more lucrative. People love to hate watch, and people love to hate watch the things that they dislike themselves. It's just something shit and sick about the human condition that we like to do that. But that one particular dude, he was trucking around Celebration. He was filming stuff. He was like trying to film from his pocket and leak some of the live stream stuff for The Mandalorian. He was out there trying to have a great old time. And then I think from memory, when people weren't so receptive to him, it was very much see, these fans like make out like they're like they're good people and blah blah blah, but they're not. And it's like, no, you're the dick. It's you. And no one owes you respect. No one owes you shit in these kinds of public spaces just because you put your fucking ugly face on a camera. Like, piss off. Like, no one owes you shit.
But it is that thing of like, but I've got these followers and I've got these subscribers and all that. And like, yeah, those people are just assholes. And no, in fact, no, I'm not even gonna modify that. Done.
Yeah. I mean, we all, and that's one of the conversations I had a couple weeks ago with Lauren from the Black podcast. She's not into spoilers, and The Last Jedi, I kind of stayed away from spoilers. But The Rise of Skywalker, I was all into the spoilers. And but the last couple of days beforehand, when like there was more stuff leaking, because you take like the script leaks from it,
Yeah.
and you listen to the script leaks and the way they're being read, it's like no way in hell it's going to happen. And a lot of it didn't, because some of it was with, you know, the baby doll head on the spider or whatever, which, you know, they didn't put in there, but we're being told was going to happen. You know, so then it's kind of like, well, this person gave you the scoop that it was going to happen, and then everyone's like, no, you suck, it didn't happen. And then we find out, well, that was part of the script first, so, you know, who are you listening to, and who are you getting the information from, and it's somebody that's editing the, you know, whatever. So it's just kind of a big messed up thing where it's like, you can't take that as gospel, you know. You know, and that's why, like, when the, you know, a couple days before I didn't do anything, and then like the day that the Mandalorian came out, season 1, the first one, I stayed off social media that day because I was going over to Pappas's house to watch it. And so I stayed away. I didn't watch anything. I went on Twitter a couple times just checking it really quick, but other than that, you know, I just stayed away. But it's like, that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, the whole spoiler game, and I mean, I think it should be like more like this. It's more like a hobby, you know. If you want to try and find out spoilers, and no one owes to watch. You know, I wish I had a lot more people watching my show. You know, I'm happy with the people that are, and I'm kind of surprised sometimes at the views I get. You know, for no reason or whatever. You know, when it's like, holy shit, the chat hit 20 people today, or whatever it was. You know, it's like, for me, like, that's impressive. That's good numbers, and I'm surprised by it. And, you know, I don't know what, even my friends that, you know, I've become friends with that are usually in the chat. If they're not here, it's not like, well, why weren't they in my chat today? It's like, nobody owes me anything. You know, but I don't know, man. It's a big convoluted thing. And you know, we all have friends that are mutual friends, and we have people that we don't like that are together. And, you know, it's just, what I've realized, and I still haven't changed it, is a lot of times, like on Twitter, I don't put LOL afterwards. So I piss people off, because, like, I'll say something to, like, Cam's in the chat right now. I'll say something to Cam, and Cam knows I'm joking, but everybody else that reads the comment doesn't know I'm joking. They just think I'm being a dick or an asshole, which, I mean, a lot of times I am, but that's, you know,
what?
Yeah. But there's no malice involved in it. It's just, you know, busting balls with somebody. But somebody that doesn't know me or doesn't know him is going to see, you know, see it and be like, you know, what the fuck's wrong with that guy?
Yeah.
There it is. Cam knows my sense of humor.
Tone is lost. Tone is lost when you try to cram everything down to 256 characters. It does, it's near impossible. You gotta, it's near impossible. But yeah, mate. I have to go in like 10 minutes. I gotta get back to work, unfortunately. Work day. It's
listen, I'm just happy we were able to get this little time together. And
likewise, man. It's trying to marry up this sort of stuff is kind of difficult, but you know, like, we did it with enough notice. Like, we can always do it again with enough notice, especially while locked down. That's one thing I've got to say is a bit of an upside to all of this, is like, time is feels a little less linear at the moment.
Yes.
Days are blending into one. It's that's not a positive thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
So what are you most excited for coming up with Star Wars?
Well, apparently we're 10 days away from the Mandalorian 2 trailer, so I'm looking forward to that, to seeing some more Mando.
And is that the start of the NBA Finals?
I believe so. Yes, I think that's where it's going to be.
Well, because here's the thing. There was never an official word, and you know, Corey and Noah, who've kind of taken over, Kessler Run Transmission, who've taken over some of the
scoop.
Yeah.
I got this one from Latino Report and someone else, Jordan,
someone created a fake account on them, and then was tweeting as them. But
they changed their picture and description.
They're instead of being Outlaw Noah, it was Outlaw No H or Noah, whatever it was. So that went around because that was how the rumor, the first I heard about it. But then I don't know if I know some other people had picked up that rumor, but they were running with a rumor off of a fake account, trying to do whatever. So that's where get into the scoop game. And then, I mean, I guess that's how you made it, when people are making fake accounts to try and discredit you. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, an homage to like you've actually made yourself something. Whatever, whether you agree with what they're doing or not, people that do that. It's kind of like, someone's trying to make you look bad, so you're obviously doing something right. People
props to them. Like, definitely props to them. It's not scoops and leaks and spoilers and stuff aren't really my bag myself, but yeah, there was an opportunity there, and they've jumped on it, man. They've definitely jumped on it, and I think it's probably going to be a good few years of that being like kind of, I'm not going to say lucrative because I don't know if it makes you money or anything like that, but like it's going to keep them busy for the next few years, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, quite good.
We have, and that's with even like with the books being pushed back. You still have Thrawn coming out. Next month.
The Poe book is out, I believe, isn't it now? The Poe Dameron book.
Yeah.
Free Falling.
Yeah, I want to get that.
That came out on Tuesday. It was a fun book. I did a review of it the other day on Saturday, and you can completely skip over it. It's not important to the canon or really knowing anything. It explains a little bit about Poe and lets you know one of the big issues I know people had with The Rise of Skywalker was with, he was running spice or whatever. When did he have time to do it? And now he's a drug dealer and everything. And it's like they explain to you why that happened. But they dance around it because it's a young, I forget if it's a YR or a YA. One of them is like for like grade school. Well, the other one's for like young teenagers or whatever.
YA.
So they kind of danced around the whole drug. They called them spice runners, but they kind of danced around like doing any drug deals or running any spice. There were other activities that they were doing where it might have been a little bit more juicy, or if it would have been a regular novel, and we had some James Bond or Cassian Andor like things going on with the spice running. But yeah, it's a fun book. It fills in some gaps that I wonder how this happened, and that there are a couple of good, interesting things that you find out from it.
See, I'm a big completist, so I love that shit. Like, I'm quite bad for when I read if I read a superhero comic and they mention something, I'm like, what's that? And I have to go back and then read that thing to catch up to make sure it's filled in, and then back. So that's the stuff I love with the Star Wars books, even if it's like just a couple of lines of dialogue. Like, I think in the Bloodline book at one point they mentioned Saw Gerrera. I was like, ooh, it connects.
And now let me go see what I can find. And it's like one of the books that I got, and I haven't even really looked at it yet. I don't know if you can see on there what it is. It's the Star Wars Geektionary. And it's just, it's not a fun book. A page turner. It isn't. It's like Lake Country. What's the Lake Country? An area where it got flooded by rivers. And it's just anything that really came up.
So it's like an official version of a much smaller Wikipedia.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. but yeah, I have like over 200 books in my Star Wars collection, and they're not really novels. They're all other ancillary materials, whether they're art books or I have some pictures. I'll post those on and tag in them just so you can take a look at it. So I mean, it's all like just extra stuff and dictionaries, and a lot of it. There's a lot of them that aren't canon anymore because they came out in 2008. But it's still interesting to look at and read. And then when something comes up in The Mandalorian, you go and you look at that encyclopedia from 2008, and it's like, oh, okay, this is it's nowhere in the canon books, but this thing that they're talking about, it comes from from there, or whatever idea they're getting.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff like that. Anything that Kevin Scott writes, his whole thing. He does a lot of one of the role-playing games from the 90s. He takes loads of stuff from there. Like that's sort of his that's his source, and he kind of brings that back into canon bits and bits. And he wrote so he wrote the Wild Space books, and he also wrote Jedi Lost. And there's lots of stuff in Jedi. It's actually quite weird. Lots of stuff in Jedi Lost is that kind of stuff, but also quite a bit of it apparently is foreshadowing for the High Republic that we didn't know. So there's some interesting stuff in there. I would definitely advise listening to that audiobook because it's brilliant. I can't speak highly enough of it. It's very, very good. It's like Star Wars and Harry Potter, and then it kind of continues to go from there. So it's excellent.
All right, I might have to do that.
You'll be getting The Mandalorian the same time that we do. This year.
Yeah. So, well, we had it. We only had a delay, I think, for the first few.
No, we didn't have a delay at all. No,
wasn't it? The
UK had a delay for like 6 months or more. Australia, we actually got it. I think time difference wise, we might have got it first.
I thought you got it.
I thought it was for the first 2 episodes. We were a touch behind.
You got The Rise of Skywalker 2 days before us, and you had a couple weeks, I think, for Mandalorian.
We had to wait for the first few for Disney Plus to launch, but then once Disney Plus launched, I think.
But didn't Disney Plus launch for us the second? Because I think, wasn't that the weird thing that like Australia got it at the same time as America? Because we were expecting that we were going to get fucked by it.
Yeah,
and I think we got it pretty well.
Now.
But I think we got the Clone Wars early anyway, because they dropped it at midnight for us. That was not midnight for America yet. Yeah. So I woke up in the morning and had it, which was amazing.
I was even earlier than that. It was like I could watch it. I think it was at 5 or 6 p.m.
No, it was, but it was something weird. Like the last episode, we got it at a weird time because it was like on May 4th or something, whatever.
Yeah, but something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know however it worked. Yeah,
however it worked. It was good.
Yeah, it was good, and we get to watch it with dinner.
Be on time now, and then no one's got to do any nefarious ways, or you don't have to fly to the U.S. and fly back just to watch one episode, talk about it on your show, or anything.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice for everyone, to be able to be talking about it at the same time, like that. That will be nice. It's the sort of thing I don't know. It's the sort of thing that like. I don't know how the hell we all. Oh, actually, no. I know how we all did it with Game of Thrones. Like, everyone just pirated the damn thing because they wanted to watch it. It'll be nice that people won't have to pirate the damn thing just to watch the show. For a change, yeah.
I mean, that's Australia's notorious for pirating stuff, but you don't get it. Like, you can't get it. And then, it comes down to more like the TV companies not buying it because it's already been out in other places, so they know no one's going to get it. It's like a vicious circle.
But we get it now. We do have our own HBO thing now. We have a channel called Binge. So if it was Game of Thrones now, we'd be getting it because we do get the HBO stuff. I just watched all of Perry Mason, which was so good, and that was released a week after each episode. So that wouldn't have been perfect, but at least it was there. I didn't have to pirate anything. I just waited and then just watched it.
Yeah.
So all good. Right, I've got to go, guys.
Yeah, no, that's cool. All right, see you,
really
Sean.
Quick, tell us where to find you once again. Matt's on the Twitter.
So Matt's on the Twitter. I'm on the Facebook. So just come find BlueBanthaMilkCo. and that's where I am. And the YouTube is BlueBanthaMilkCo. The Twitter is, as Matt has there. As soon as you can find one of those, you can find the rest if you're internet literate. So yeah, come like and subscribe. And we've got a live stream coming up this weekend where we are doing a watch along for the Star Wars classic Ewok Adventure Caravan of Courage. So tune in for that. And then Force Fest, the virtual Star Wars celebration thing at the end of the month. We are on the live action panel. We are the headliners, which I keep saying, but I'm not sure if that's official. And we're going to be talking about the rise of Skywalker in a panel we have called The Rise of Skywalker, talking about actually why it succeeds more than it fails. And talking about some cool stuff.
Yeah. That was a really good outro.
That was great, wasn't it?
Really solid.
Thank
you
you.
had coffee today, mate. We saw you drinking your coffee. Yeah.
Can of coffee. I'm on top of it.
Cool.
So yeah, with that, I'm gonna go.
Cool.
All right, Sean, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me, man. Anytime.
See you, Sean. And thanks, Michael. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I will talk to you in that Twitterverse, man.
Yeah, mate. Have a good one. And bye everyone in the live chat. It's been a joy. See ya.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to remember now that this is eventually going to become onto the podcast form for people. So we had Matt and Sean from the Blue Bantha Milk Company or Co. I don't know if it is company or Co. I'm looking at that. But anyways, just look from Blue Bantha Milk Co. And you can find them on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know if they're on Instagram. Anyways, you can find them on Twitter and Facebook. And if you have trouble, just hit me up and I'll let you know where do they get them. So thank you for listening to episode 29 of the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network Bacta Tank live chat with Blue Bantha Milk. All right, so I guess that's I gotta remember to do that for the when I turn that into the podcast, and then I forgot to tell them if they want to listen to all the shenanigans that happened afterwards, go ahead and find it on YouTube. But let's see here. What can I do here? Where's my invite? I don't know. No, they switched it up. I don't know where my invite button is. Broadcast info. No, not that. I'm trying to find out in case there's anybody that wants to come on here to chat with me, but I don't have it on. All right, and I kicked myself off, but I'm back now. So don't worry, nothing to see here. I mean, there is stuff to see here, but let's see. I figured out how to do the chat the other day on here. All right, there we go. The chat's on there, and if anybody wants to hop on here, let me know. We can talk a little bit more Star Wars or do whatever. There wasn't a lot of Star Wars news. Just the one signing for the Cassian Andor series, And yeah, that's about it. So I do have some stuff for us to open up. What time is it now? It's 11 o'clock. Patrick should be getting off work soon. I wonder if Patrick's going to stop by. But anyways, all right, you guys want to see me open up some stuff? I got some stuff. It's up to you. I can always hold it on to next week if you want. But I got some good stuff coming in. Some good packages. All right, there we go. Pauline's asking. She knows the rules. What's in the box? Okay. Do you want something new? Or do you want something that's been on my list for a while to get and I was able to acquire it recently? Yes, new or old, and old isn't really that old. Well, here, while you guys are figuring out, I'll start with this. This came for me today. And I said, oh, I'm afraid what might be in here, so we're going to have to see. Thanks. I'm not going to read you the card. That's from everyone's favorite rebellion on the radio, Alberto. I got these stickers from him. So I actually have a Star Wars box with stickers and pins, and they go into there. All right, let's start both. Oh, I don't want to see all that. That's gonna add us all over it. All right, we'll do this. We'll cover it up this way. I got this box right here. Big old box. I didn't. It's all taped up. Like, look, they did a good job. If you were in a stream the other day when I was talking to Johnny Orm, this comes from Johnny Orm's backyard when I was doing the review of the Poe Dameron book we talked about. I know some of you probably didn't catch it because it was a spoiler review in case any of you aren't going to read it. But I did talk about getting this book. They taped the hell out of this. I'm going to destroy this box trying to get it out. If I would have known it was taped like this, I would have done a little better job on this. But yeah, this is it's hard because everybody knows I don't collect Funko Pops. I just have some that are Star Wars. But I do collect Black Series. And, you know, comparison-wise, there's not really any expensive Black Series. You know, the most you're going to pay for a Black Series, if it's an older one, is, you know, $100, $120. There's a couple that look like they're going to be making some the push to raise that a little bit. Somebody more your, you know, Commander Cody's or whatever the hell they are. Bam! It's even that, you know, it's like if I sell my shit and I start going for vintage collection, you know, you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for a lot of them. I'm missing something here. All right. Well, I don't know. It's not showing up on here, but it's showing up on the YouTube chat. Matt from Blue Bantha said, "Back very quick for a second. I think a couple of you subscribed to our channel because our numbers just went up a few. So thank you. So for those of you that were in here watching and subscribe to them, yeah, they they're kind of the opposite of me when it comes to. I like to just chat, and I'm going to turn this on and say, come on and talk with me and come on and chat. And whatever it is, just talk about it. They actually do like the videos, where they, instead of me saying, hey, this is what I think about this, and then we talk about it. They kind of do the same. Well, they make a video about it. They put the work into it and make it pretty and stuff like that. But I'll get that when I get my computer back. I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more of that. I got some stuff going on to work on. But here we go. All right, we got after all that, here it is, right here. And Doty's here. I just saw him. He stopped by. I don't know where the hell he went. I don't know why it's just doing this. Maybe he didn't put that message on my phone because it was smaller, or because it won't be able to hold it all or whatever. And I don't know. You guys know what's going on. Someday I'll be back up and running at full power. I'll be overpowered then. But yeah, get on the hot toys, man. Maybe someday. But that's the whole thing. It's like I think about selling my collections or what I've acquired, or thinning them out quite a bit, and it's just every time I think about doing it, they come out with something you're going to see in a minute here. Well, not this, but all right. So here we go. Anybody know what this book is? Huh? Anyone? Anyone out there? Woo. The Art of Star Wars, The Clone Wars. This is one that's been on my list for a while. But because of it's a really expensive book. Because when it came out, nobody wanted it. And I was able to find this one. This one comes out from the UK. A lot of them that I was looking at, I mean, I didn't want to pay the price for it brand new to get all the stuff. And when I sell the stuff, these extra pictures, like this one right here. I didn't see this one. Oh, this one goes like this then. So these are all full-size ones, which, okay, here we go. I was able to find this one over from the UK. And I actually got it. Oh, that's upside down. I don't even know who it is. I got it at a really good price. That's why I've been sitting, waiting for it. But a lot of them that I was looking at were didn't have this stuff with it. And if you wanted it for this, it would have cost me twice as much. Just to get these pictures in it. Which, if you're going to spend I mean, you guys can look it up on eBay how much it's selling for. I got a used one for half the price, and that was what was happening. Is it's selling for $400 or $500, and you go to bid on it on eBay, and you bid on it on eBay, and then it's $100. You're like, yeah, this is good. Maybe it's going to go up a little bit. And in the last couple minutes, the last one after I got this, I was looking for it for a friend of mine. He said, yeah, I don't want to spend that much. It went from $112, I think, to $235 or $237. And that was in the last 15 seconds. Like, you just saw somebody put in 100, the way it goes, if you don't know, on eBay, you bet on something, you can put in your top bid. So somebody probably put in a bid for 150, somebody put in one for 175, somebody put in, for 200, and it just kind of goes to that point where you get to the last 15, 20 seconds, and you just put this how much I want to spend on it, and you just watch it go boom, 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 boom. That's the sound it makes too. And yeah, so to get it to make sure that it had that stuff in it. And I still got it for half of what they're selling for, but that's why some of these books have been on my list, or the one that the Hollow Chronicles helped me find, the dressing book. It was selling for $500 used. It was $1,000, $900 new, and I got it for $100 because somebody was selling it, and the binding's kind of messed up. So it's like, even if I was to spend $100 or $100 on the binding, would still be half of what I had to pay for the whole book. So, and you guys know, like, I talked to you guys about prices and shit like that, because it's you can look on eBay and see what they cost, and I'm usually getting the good deal. Hardly ever do I buy something that isn't getting a good deal. But really quick, I mean, I'm gonna go over this book, but Dave Filoni, A New Hope, or Scruffy Looking Nerf Herder. I mean, that's what it says right there. What do we got right here? Right there. That's what it says right there. But yeah, this is, like I've talked about, this one's probably going to be a much faster go through than a lot of the other art books. But once I get my computer back and I'm up and running, there's going to be a lot more Patreon stuff going on there for books and whatever. And I'm still going to be doing a lot of content on the free page, on the free stuff, and doing the you know what? I'll give you a couple more. What the fuck? I didn't even show you anything on here. But I don't know. I'm just gonna flip open and Grievous. Concept art for Grievous. Right there. Something that we've talked about. What's a Gundark? Well, if you want to rip the ears off a Gundark, there you go. That's what they look like. But yeah, I'm gonna keep doing Holocron House and stuff like that. Which right now everything's a little crazy, because even with, I've been doing the live streams for unboxing toys, because I don't have a computer right now well, I mean, I do, but I don't really, to edit on. And then the one I was using, I destroyed that. Like I talked about earlier in the show and a bunch of other times, I destroyed that motherfucker really quick. Because that was nowhere near, I was, a 2 gigabyte notebook or 4 gigabyte notebook isn't meant for streaming and editing. So I just destroyed that really quick. But yeah, so here we go. We got a box. Somebody's got to say it so we can do some work now. Anyone? 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 Come on. There we go. What's in the box? What's in the box? So yeah, it's like this right here. If I've been streaming it, so you're getting this, you're watching me open it up. Where if I was recording it and just loading it up there, that would be all out of there. So instead of being 20 minutes of me opening up this box or doing this whole box, it's a 6-minute video or whatever. What do we have here? I am very, very confused right now. Extremely confused. We got this right here. It is Sabine Wren with the Black series, the new box that we've seen coming out right now. It's my first look at this, obviously. If you guys were hardcore collectors, you can see right there, there's a little damage on it, but it doesn't really mean that much to me. I mean, it does. I would like to be in better condition, but whatever. Yes, we got a Sabine Wren on that one. And we have Choppa. Got a little side right there. See the nice little back. Very, very strange. Very strange. I have to go with the other chopper, the regular, or the regular one that came out to see really what the difference is. But so I mean, it says right back here, Star Wars Rebels. This is number 2. Sabine is number 6. Keep track of these because I can't. We got 2 and a 6. 2 and a 6. We got a 3. Who do you think's number 3? Who do you think's number 3? Put them in the chopper. Obviously, I'm not a voice actor. Number 3 is Ezra Bridger. And I think actually Chopper is the only one that I have of these in the regular ones. Yeah, these are cool for the boxes. And then it's like when I had Yak Face on here a couple weeks ago. See, this is the back. Tells you a little bit. I don't even, I'm gonna have to look and see if the back is the same. And then what the difference is. But I don't have Ezra. The only one I think I said, was Chopper. Number 5. 2, 3, 6, and 5. 2, 3, 5, 6. Hera. Look at her little tiny gun right there. What's she going to do with that? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And anybody know who number 1 is? Who's the number 1? Who's the number 1? Zeb. Zeb is number 1. So we have put this in here. And Zeb was a little bit more expensive than the other ones. He was $10 more because he's a deluxe. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Something doesn't seem right. Let's just see when we open up the next box. shit. All right. So what did I say there? There was 1, 3, 1. I don't know. I'll just double check and see what we got here. 1 was Zed. 1 Zed, 2 Chopper, 3 is Ezra, 5 is Hera, 6 is Sabine. So there's no 3 or 7. So we're missing Canon and we're missing Ahsoka. Oh, Imperial Communicator, you're leaving? All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Check out the rest of it some other time. Here we go. Okay. Now, this is why I got confused. Because I just got a whole nother set. And I don't know how. So I need to go look and see, did I order 2 sets? That seems kind of strange. And the reason that I got them from there was because if you ordered all 7 of them, you got them for a lot cheaper. Unless the other two don't come out till next month or the end of this month or whatever it is. Yeah, they're 2 different order numbers. I'm gonna have to take a look at this to figure it out because I don't know. I'll be sending them back though, I can tell you that much. I don't need 2 orders of them. Oh, it was weird that they split it up into 2 packages. But I did not at all think there was going to be 2 full sets of them coming out. But yeah, I had them ordered from Entertainment Earth. Because Entertainment Earth was the first one to have them. And actually, Entertainment Earth, I think, I don't know, a couple of our friends got them a couple days before I did. So I canceled the one with Entertainment Earth because instead of being their maybe that is a cheaper, but I'm gonna have to look because maybe that was it. Because I think normally they were selling for 22 or 24. Invoice on here says 17. So maybe that was the price. They gave you $3 off each one or $5 off each one. Yeah. So it was a lot cheaper to get all of them. So it was only 90 some dollars for all those. So yeah, we're gonna have to look into that and figure it out because I don't need 2 of each of them. Yeah, that's interesting now. Now I got work to do. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. I have to figure that one out. Oh, yeah, nobody wanted to come on and talk Star Wars with me today. There's not a lot of Star Wars going on. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat. Doty's in the chat. Doty will be on here in a couple of weeks. Just to give you a little bit of a sizzle. Next week we have Mike from It's True. And then we have Doty from Shaken That Nerd. And then the Duty, not Doty. Duty. Apologies, my friend. And then the following week, there's at least one guest coming on for the last week. And, it's the last day of August for us, but it's already September 1st for Australia. There's at least one guest coming on, if not two, from two different podcasts. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today. It's just, I'll be honest with you, man, when you gotta do all this off of a cell phone, it takes a lot out of you. It's a lot time consuming. It's kind of boring. It's a lot harder because, normally if I had my laptop or iPad or whatever working, I could just screen, like I can't even screen share right now and pull everything up. Kat, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. So it's like if I want to talk about something, I can pull up an article or whatever. It's just I can't do it, so I'm just like, hey, this is what I read. But we're skipping through. We're getting through it, and hopefully, in another week or so, the computer will be back and we'll be up full running and doing our 4 or 5 hour fucking marathon podcast because I can't shut up YouTube channel things. And yeah. So that's about it, man. It's that's the worst thing that's happening to me right now in my life is my computer not being back. Well, not really, but if that's the worst thing, I'm doing pretty good. But I'm not dead, so who cares? That's the most important thing. But unless anybody else has any questions or anything they want me to talk to them about, I think that's going to do it for tonight. I'll let you know what's going to go on with these toys for next week and why I have 2 orders of them. And I got to check my bank card statement. I mean, you think I'm going to tell you if they accidentally sent me one for free, an extra set? I don't know. If you see me sell them on eBay for $2, you might know what's going on. Anyways, folks, all right, man. I gotta check that out and see what's going on because I don't know why I would have got. They got 2 different numbers on them for the order number, so I gotta put them bad boys in and see what's going on. You know what I mean? And check the bank account, see what that has to do with anything. But with that, I say good day. May the force be with you always. Peace.